Alright, now let's deploy the machine. Alright. Oh, this other one. Yeah, I will fast forward once this IP is showed up. Yeah, and yeah, we can read the description. It says your boss told you to do a quick pinch testing engagement on the new RP software CRM software that was recently set up and modded by junior developers. Can you find what mistakes did the developers made? Now, from the description of the machine itself, it looks like there's some sort of a misconfiguration or some leak or something like this. Mostly junior developers make stupid mistakes and very dangerous misconfigurations mostly. Yeah, and yeah, by the way, I'm one of the makers of the machine, that's why. So it says yeah, what I forgot to tell you is that this machine is based on a real engagement that I and some colleagues faced, and it was pretty tricky. However, uh, yeah, once you get the idea, it is pretty easy. So it looks like we have to add the machine IP with the domain Doli.tryhackme on our Etsy host. So let's do this. Okay. Now we're gonna do a quick in-map scan. I'm gonna do a full port scan, then a regular scan, so we can identify services, versions, and run some scripts. In-map dash dash min rate for 10,000 dash port dash for all ports, ON for output one format, and the IP address of the machine. I'm gonna also specify the V flag to see the verbose. And let's hit run. And right off the top we see there is port 80 is open. We can yeah we can we can wait. Once this is done, I'm gonna fast forward the video. Alright, the port scan is done, and it looks like there's only one port, but that's not correct. There should be SSH as well. So anyways, we're gonna do a regular scan with port 80 and 22 and see what it will display. And right off the top, we see that port 22 is now open. Yeah, I think because of the minimum rate, it does make the scan pretty fast. However, there's a lot of false positives, and you see there's over 36,000 filtered ports. Filtered ports. We see there's SSH, um, Ubuntu 402. This is probably gonna be, I think. Well, I don't really keep it out of the top of my mind. However, this is an Ubuntu machine. This is Nginx. It looks like there's it's the title is Apache default Ubuntu, but this is an Nginx server. So yeah, let's check port 80 and see what's there. And there is only the Apache default page. Now now it's really weird because there's Apache and Nginx installed, but Nginx is the plain. This is the case when you set up an environment, when you set up a test, I think a development, when you set up a development environment and you install a framework that requires Apache in its dependencies. It does install Apache, and once you're not familiar with Apache configs, you switch to Nginx. Now, when you remove Apache, its default, uh, its default front end page, this page, default page, does not being removed from var.dub. Um, it remains there. So Nginx is smart enough to detect it and use it instead. That's the case here. Um, we can run a quick brute force scan, see if there is any hidden directories here. That's if there is. And yeah, let's check there. Yeah, let's do a quick um, port directory scan. Yeah, and we can wait. Now, just to clarify this, because I'm one of the creators, I'm gonna cheat a bit. There's no actual hidden folders here, but we're gonna leave this, as a habit, as out of habit. Or we're just gonna leave it here running on, and we're gonna check something else. Now, from the description, it told us to add Doli try hack me. Maybe there's something else. Let's check it out. And it's also the Apache or the Nginx default page. So there's nothing much. Now now just normally when you are given like this, you want to look for subdomains. There's no DNS here, so we're just gonna brute force subdomains and let's see what we can find. For this, I'm gonna use GoBuster to brute force subdomains. And I'm gonna use seclist wordless because it's efficient. And I'm gonna do top 1,005,000 and it should be good. I'm gonna also specify 30 threads and an output file so we can keep track of our notes and stuff. I don't normally write notes, only when I do engagements and stuff that actually requires notes for, but this is just a machine, I know the stuff. So but for your case, it's recommended to take notes. And let's keep this running. Okay, we got a hit, and it looks like it is Herb Doli at tryhackme. Okay, let's add this to our etc host file and see what's there. and we get a forbidding. Um, Normally, okay, so we got access denied. Let's check. There's some stuff like robots that text HTXS stuff that mostly HTXS files are restricted. But let's see. And it looks like it disallow. Ooh, that's why we get 4.3. Huh. It allows index.php accepts it. So let's copy this. And we got a 404. So that's dead end. Yeah, there's only one subdomain. You can fuzz for more, but there's only one. Yeah, there's only one. So let's fuzz this and see if it shows anything interesting, maybe. And yeah, there's no like dot files there. Let's just wait, see if there's anything. And there's an admin page. Sweet. Let's look at the admin page. And it looks like there's a login form there. Yeah, it is a login form. Uh, there's a note that says welcome to Stewie's Deadly Project, and we got a login page with a username, password, security code. There's a link here. It says please click this link, and we get a path. Brian Dolt. Dolt. What does Dolt means? I don't know. It's 404, so but there's a Brian there, so yeah, that's Brian. It's very these hints really matter. Brian dot. Yeah, let's add. Oh, we got a security and security.txt file. Yeah, let's uh let's uh let's chain a username list. And let's check now this user's security.txt. And it says security policies of Stewie's Data Project. We've got an email address, possibly an email address, and that's pretty much it. We can try like common passwords, like let's try Stewie passwords, Stewie, something like that. Now, in this case, you can't really brute force this. You These are images, I guess. Yes, these are images. Yeah, image security codes. Yeah, you can't really brute force this. The second, let's check the source. Maybe we can identify what framework this is. We've got some JavaScript. We've got a token. I think this is I think think it's MD5 crypt. I think it's script MD5 crypt or something. I think so. We scroll down, see the audio we got before. We scroll and we see this the authentication method and cookie name used for get crack me 1234. Now this is a passable password that was, I don't know, maybe let's just add it to our word list and see what's gonna, yeah, maybe we can try with Stewie. Well, that's not the password. We can try admin, but yeah, that's not the case. That's not well. We didn't really find much. We don't know what this is. And when we click this manifest json.php, we get we get this Doli bar, and just by the name, it looks like that's this IRPM software that was used. Let's do a quick Google. And yep, that's it. It is Doli bar. Um, it's version 301. Let's check. Let's see if there's any public CVEs or exploits we can use. And there's yeah there's few, but it looks like none of them is affected by this version. There's latest one is 1103. Ours is 1301. Yeah. Anyways, let's fuzz the root directory. Maybe we can find something. Now, if you keep fuzzing and fuzzing and you didn't find anything, you can just go back and read the hint that was left here. There is a hint file. It says everybody loves taking notes, and these notes are very. We can Google, maybe we can Google notes taking, the dev note take. And most of the developers usually use Markdown for their notes. Yeah, probably a lot. A lot of them use in the Markdown for. Yeah, we can check some images. No, that's not the ones. Yeah, yeah, that's Markdown. Right. So let's brute force and see if there's any notes. You can brute force. Yeah. No, let's do it. Okay. I'm going to also use GoBuster in this case. we can specify extensions. The first one, yeah, nodes. What are the most common nodes extensions that developers use? Mostly in the .txt, st, I think one st, I guess, rs, yeah, and we're gonna also specify some threads for 40 or 50. I think 40 is good, and I'm gonna also specify font dash out. And a word list. I'm gonna use also I'm gonna use directory 2.3 medium. And we can wait. There's a lot of paths here. You can fuzz each, but it's not really. Yeah, the one thing that is mostly important is you can actually not fuzz at all, but you can since Dolibar is an open source framework, you can just grab those files from there. Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. And we see there's a lot of files here. However, if we read the documentations, the files are usually in htdocs. That's the uh, root folder where files are stored. There's security robots. We can grab these, but they don't exist. And yeah, there's a lot of files. However, if we go back to our GoBuster scan, there's .md file here, and we can read it. So and it is a change log. It says change the super admin password to a super secure random 15 characters password. It says done. It says crypt saved passwords locally. Add a firewall rules. Only allow UDP incoming outcoming at port 9001. So yeah, this is gonna be useful once we get code exec. It says, and here is the most the important part. It says add a log file. Now this add a log file is pretty interesting. It says should do. Now usually add files or log files usually uh, created to prevent fresh reinstall of a framework, upgrade unintended upgrades, or to prevent an attacker such as us to reinstall a framework. And this is mostly a lot of this is a common mistake that developers make. And also there is revert the frameworks patch from 703 to prevent confliction with the mod. It also says to do. So maybe they have like let's check what's if and if we remember from the previous search exploit, there was a code a PHP injection in this particular framework in 70.70x, um, and yeah, and it is a PHP code injection. It says go to a fresh install page. Okay, now this is becoming an easy part, but it's not. I'm gonna tell you why. Click next setup, create and post this stuff, and here is the payload. This is what will get us code execution and OpenCat files. Sweet. Yeah, this is the attack button or the payload. You can call it whatever you want. So it is to do. It's not being done. It is also an authenticated remote code evaluation. However, we don't know yet. Wait, it says to do. Yes. So we don't know if the developers actually repatched that or did not. If they did, um, means we can't get code exec. But this log file is pretty interesting. It says to do, so we can reinstall the framework. Let's see how we can do that. If we go back to dollar bar ht docs, there's install, and mostly this is where we actually install stuff. And we've got a few files here. Let's go to install index.php and see what's there. And it is 404. We can check a few other files like check. It's also not there. PHP info. Also 404. Maybe robots.txt. Whoa, that's there. Step 1. Well, oh, it does exist. And it says database type, server, database name, and login is required. Now, here is when a lot of players get sucked into this rabbit hole. They actually just forward the request that was this request, and they think they can get code execution. However, that's not the case here. That's where's the trickiest part was. You gotta have to fuzz this in order to find either index.php, mostly index.php, or check.php. Then you can continue with the installation. However, you need to set up a MySQL server. You can't. Yeah, it is required. It is required to in order to exploit this. So let's fuzz quickly and find the hidden files. We we can stop this now since it's not. I specified extension.php because that's what we are looking for, and of course let me change the output file and let this run for a moment, I'm gonna fast forward the video. So yeah. Well, I'm back. It looks like it find Brian.php. Um, well, that was funny. It's funny. Yeah, we could just yeah from the previous hint, whatever. Let's check it out. And here we go. It looks like we can do a fresh install and we can upgrade whatever, but we can do fresh install. So let's click start, and it requires us MySQL. Yeah, so that's where we're gonna have to create MySQL server in our local machine, then use it to exploit this vulnerability. So let's create an HTTP MySQL server. I'm gonna stop this fuzzer, go buzzer, and yeah. So right now we are installing my MariaDB database, and once it's done, we are going to configure it to allow remote connections. Yeah, for this I'm going to check MySQL. Yeah, it says you need to initialize the MariaDB data directory, so let's run this. Okay, it's okay, done. Now we need to um yeah we need to yeah, let's first check if MariaDB is working. Let's start. And yep, it is working. um let's um let's allow remote remote connections. For this either we can check the wiki, arch wiki, or we can check MariaDB site for the config file, for the configurations and stuff. It's mostly in slash etc my yeah server.conf. That's mostly where the configuration is stored. Let's look at the options. And yeah, it requires us to edit the default file in slash etc. Yeah, this is the file. We can either specify the bin address, or alternatively we can do this. I'm gonna just copy and paste. And we need to do something else. Yeah, we need to allow remote root Okay. It looks like there's only root that is accessible from localhost. I'm gonna delete this as well. Yeah. I'm gonna leave only MySQL and these options, and I'm gonna remove this because it might conflict with the remote and might cause problems. So this means allow from everywhere. I'm gonna say specify password. This is just for the purpose of this box, and since this is a virtual machine, I'm pretty cool with that. However, if you are doing this on your machine, it's not recommended. You can do it, but once you're done, you gotta come back and you're gonna remove these options. You can then think, yeah, you can just remove this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show you how to do that in the end of the video if I remember. So copy this, and that's good. Can check again, and there we go. And now let's remove this user. And there we go. See, yeah, there's only root that is allowed from everywhere. I'm gonna also specify this. Okay. And now we have to restart my MariaDB. Okay, let's do it. Let's close MySQL. And now if we try to connect again, but without using um, slash host to our host file, to our host IP, it won't connect because it says localhost access denied. I'm just gonna show you a quick example. You see, that's the issue. You gotta specify host. You can either specify your local host, I mean your local IP in your network, like 1.7.16 79.138 with the password, strong uncomplicated password. What? 172.16.130. Oh, okay. There we go. Now we got access. So yeah, we know that MySQL is not working. We gotta have to exploit the server or the framework. For this, I'm going to use Burp Suite. Yeah, we're gonna use Burp Suite.
I had Burp Suite Pro installed, but I messed up THM and it was deleted by mistake, so I had to install it. And this is a fresh new virtual machine that was installed just like, it was installed in the morning. So we'll do OK, come on, and there we go. We close, next, start, and let's wait till this the end. Okay, starts. I imagine if, like right now, I I didn't record this intro. I'll be really mad.
Yeah. So we can go back and now we can enter this information. We can fill up this stuff. Database name, Doli bar, sure. The database server is gonna be our IP. And we're gonna also create a database and the login. I'm just gonna use Doli bar. Sure. And the root is gonna be root. And for password is gonna be password. And it looks like I don't have Foxy proxy installed. So alright, it looks like it is working. I'm gonna do Control R to send to the repeater tab. And let's see. Let's look at the exploit again. And yep, it looks like it is okay. Database name replace with the following. So this is the payload in the database name. This is the database name. Control delete. Check. Okay, it's good. Action set blah blah blah, and we can click send. I'm not sure. It looks like it works. It works. HTTP Doli Doli slash find.ls. Yeah, I can save this. And sweet, looks like we got code execution. Yeah, it says it's not Brian. If we go back to the exploit, it's check, but check.php is renamed to set.php. And anyways, we got code execution here. I'm gonna send this to the repeater. Forward this. Oh shoot. And like you see here, once you have forward the response, like the request is done, it automatically the exploit stops. So all we need to do is just to change. We can resend it. However, it's not gonna work because the database, this database slash x, is already being created. So we're gonna replace x with z, and we going to send again, and we're gonna send this, and there we go. Now we got code execution. I'm gonna change this to a reverse shell. Now from the config file, looks like we can try to use UDP. However, there's also PHP info there. However, I'm gonna use TCP. Just maybe maybe it works. Who knows? On port 9001. So pintest. Oh, I don't need pintest now. Just dash dash c dash dash I dash c tcp. And we're gonna have to encode this payload. Control U, and let's set up a listener and see if we get a reverse show. And there we go, we got a shell on the box. Now the first thing, we're gonna spawn a TTY shell. And there we go, we got a TTY shell. The first thing I'm gonna do, we can read the config file. However, if we remember from the note, you know what? Fuck the note. Let's just so let's check the conf file. Maybe it contains some sensitive information. However, checking back the note, it says that PHP, it says that encrypt local file passwords. I don't know, maybe it was talking about something else. I don't know, but let's check. Let's check. Yeah, it's from the notes. Anyways, I'm gonna upload linpies or LSPA. And we can see what's gonna happen, what's gonna show us. So, yeah. Yeah, it's. Oh, let's leave it run for a moment. I'm gonna pause the video and um, I'm gonna fast forward the video once it's done. So. All right, it looks like the database it looks like a main piece has finished. Let's check the results. All right, so this is 404 generic kernel. Yeah, it there's no there's a few um exploits, but they won't work. It's patched. This is Ubuntu 1604 Xenio. Sudo also 1816, but it's patched. Although it says it's patched, so I'm saying yeah. What else? We've got Python installed, few stuff in C traditional in-map installed, um, and processes. Some stuff. Users, we've got Sipo, Medsec, YP now. This is yeah, few users on the box. Uh, there's nothing really interesting here. There's this file which we can check later. Let's let's. I'm not gonna minimize. Gonna go to we've got few set UID binaries here, but nothing really matters here. Capabilities, and we've got this Doli bar install. This is um the log file that you created once you that we created a few minutes ago once we reinstalled Doli bar. There's another one in /var .dot which we can check it out. Few stuff, old stuff. Let's see. And this is Dolibar. There is the configuration file. This is the old configuration file. Oh, thank God. Yeah. The old configuration file. You can check it out. And see. And we'll get this hash from Dolibar install. Well, you can try to crack this, however, it is not crackable. Yeah, so I'm not gonna bother cracking this. Um, I don't have, like a secondary machine to crack this on. If I started cracking this on this host machine, um, might drop frames and stuff, and bad stuff happens. So no, I'm just gonna avoid it. I'm gonna go and look at this database file. And yep, there's nothing here. So let's move to the next file. And this is the installation log when Dolibar was installed. So yeah, we can see the encrypted password here. Yeah. So, like I said, it is not crackable, so I'm not gonna bother. The user was Stewie, though. Now we're gonna move to the config file. Okay. And there's no password, though. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, username set. And this is the new file. Yeah. Dolly bar, dolly bar. Yeah. So the next thing we're gonna do is um there wait, did I clear shit? Um there was that backup file of the access log of Nginx access log, and I forgot to show it off camera, so oh god, and I totally forgot to um, log the output of linkp. So here is an important note you should do is always make logs file. Yeah, so it's in var log nginx. It's in var log nginx, and if we do ls/la, there's a backup file which we can read. It is not pretty big, so if we keep scrolling, and we will finally find this large string here. Um, can copy this string and decode it. So, and what's the best tool to use is CyberChef. CyberChef. There we go. Close this and let's paste this. Okay, get this large string and we get junk. So now this string here is another encoding, and it is not base64. CyberChef detected it as um, base64, but it's not base64. It is something else. If you enumerated a bit on the box, you will see this image. You will find this image in /opt, and this is an important directory you should always check. There is viewme.png, and yeah, we have read permission to read it, so we can download this file by copying it to Doli bar installation and then requesting it from the browser. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And we get this Citrix. Citrix is a password encoding mechanism. I'm not sure. It's a password encoder decoder. So um, Bitrix. Wait, Bitrix. Oh, yeah, Citrix. Oh, Bitrix. I was looking for the blockchain. Citrix. Yeah, here he is. The code, and it's decoding. Come on. And we get this password. You can copy it and add it to our notes first. Then notes or credentials, and people is going to be this. We can either SSH, no, we can SSH, or we can um SU to SIPO. I'm going to SSH and leave that um open, that window open, so we can use it for later on. And there we go. However, there's no dot text. Um, I mean user dot text. There's a node dot text, but user dot text does not exist. Maybe in maybe we can find it in the next user we check. So